Doing good. Back in the office?
Man, coming back in the office.
Hold on, Travis.
I told him
I
to
got
go
it.
back. He's itching, he's eating good. And clean in Boston, so he's almost 100%.
He and my buddies.
Nice. Yeah.
We're on.
It says fire.
Alright. Alright, we are back in order tonight. So is there any action to be taken from executive session?
Yes, I would like to make a motion to nominate Miranda Hanselman to fill the vacant council seat.
Alright, is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Alright. Tara, roll call please.
Councilmember Campbell,
Yes.
Councilmember Mays,
Yes.
Councilmember Barnhart,
Yes.
Councilmember Bakke,
Yes.
Councilmember Garbutt.
Yes.
Alright, motion passes. Congratulations, Miranda. In just a second. We're gonna swear you in here in just a moment, but to the other candidates in the room tonight, you guys did excellent. First of all, the fact that this took 2 meetings to decide should tell you how hard of a decision this was for this council to make, one that they don't take lightly. And having the privilege to sit in and listen to this discussion, there are high remarks about each one of you. So know that the competition was very, very strong, and it was not an easy decision for anyone sitting up here. We honestly believe in this situation that we cannot go wrong with any one of you in the room sitting up here. So again, we appreciate the interest. We appreciate the fact that you guys have been coming to the meetings and wanting to get involved. And to that point, know that there are other opportunities that we can make sure that you guys get involved still at the village level. So for example, we have some So again, appreciate the interest. And with that, Miranda, would you like to be sworn in?
Yes.
Come on up. Travis, this thing kind of messes with our pictures. It's right in the middle of the room. All right. All right, so go ahead and raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Miranda Lowe Hanselman,
Solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the
the Constitution of the United States,
Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Charter and ordinances
the Charter and ordinances
of the Village of Georgetown,
of the Village of Georgetown,
and will obey the laws thereof,
and will obey the laws thereof,
and will faithfully,
and will faithfully,
honestly, and impartially
honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of a member of
of a member of
the Georgetown Village Council,
the Georgetown Village Council,
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations. Thank you. Your seat. Oh, did you get the Actually, wait a minute. You are. We gotta fix our chairs.
Yeah. Joey's not coming.
Joey's not coming, so we'll do this, and the next time we will be better organized. So Miranda, you are gonna be here. Welcome. Yeah. All right. Moving along, I did see that Delbert joined us this evening. Delbert, I will give you your opportunity if you have any comments for the group.
It's been so long since I've been here, I forgot what we was talking about. But if I come in here, it's a break from working.
Well, thank you for coming tonight. All right, guys, we are going to move along on our agenda. The next item that we are looking at is item B on page 2. That would be the resolution for District 15. And Travis, I'm going to look to you maybe for a little.
So yeah, I know we did this last time, but I copied from the prior administrator's appointment and didn't realize that there was a new period starting in October. So this is actually for the new period.
Okay. Councilmember Campbell, can you read this by title for us?
A resolution designating Travis Dotson as the Village of Georgetown's appointment to the District 15 Public Works Integrating Committee.
Okay. And then I would just need a motion to adopt.
I'll make that motion.
Councilmember Mays has made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilmember Garbett. Tara, roll call.
Councilmember Campbell,
Yes.
Councilmember Garbett,
Yes.
Councilmember Mays,
Yes.
Councilmember Barnhart,
Yes.
Councilmember Baki,
Yes.
Councilmember Holzman.
Yes.
Alright, up resolution.
1386, 1386.
Alright, resolution passes. Thank you. Alright, Travis, item C. We are gonna be talking about electric.
Yeah, that's actually C and D, same thing. So I want to give an update on our electric. We just had, let me start this. So we just had a new capacity market auction. If you may or may not be aware, we are part of the PJM Transmission Organization region. So there are several regions around the country that deal with the transmission and capacity for the electric grids across the country. So we're part of the PJM grid. We had been originally, when we first made the deals back in 2011, when Georgetown and Ripley and Bethel came together and negotiated for electric, we were part of MISO, and then over the next couple of years they transitioned to PJM. So MISO has traditionally been a lot cheaper to be in that capacity market, but PJM, I guess, has been more forward thinking. So we are in the PJM. So as you may or may not know, our electric rate is made up of the energy cost, the transmission, getting the power to the village on Duke transmission lines, and then the capacity is you're basically purchasing ahead for a given amount of energy. We're around an 8 megawatt village, so they're going out to bid for us to have that 8 megawatts available during the time frame. Traditionally, PJM is supposedly, it should be out 3 years in advance, but they've been behind. So we're currently just now, we're just now going into the July 2024 capacity rate. So that's, we just went from $34 a megawatt day to $96 a megawatt day. So that'll go for the next year. Capacity's mid-year. So the rest of PJM is actually in the 20s, but there was an issue with one Duke transmission line that caused our local area to be at 96 instead of the 20s per megawatt day. So we've jumped up here just in the last month from about $8,600 per month for capacity fees up to $21,000 a month. So July 30th, the auction went out for the second half of 2025, first half of 2026. That number came in at $269.92. So it's they've kind of been concerned about this, and they're calling this kind of the canary in the coal mine event. So there's a lot of generation that's being retired, and there's not a lot of new generation coming on board. So this is going to basically be an effect of, it's going to go up $43,000 a month. So the 2025-2026 calendar year, we'll be paying an extra $500,000 just in capacity. So the concern is that the next auction, they're trying to get caught back up to 3 years ahead. The next auction is only 6 months away. It's in December. So there's no time between now and then to get new generation online. So we're probably going to see these high numbers for the next couple of cycles at least. So we'll have to see, once December comes, we'll have to consider rate increases. Right now, we can ride it, but depending on what comes in for the 2026, 2027 period, we'll have to see. We may have to look at a rate increase at that time. So they're trying to get caught back up for the 3 years ahead. That way we can forecast. Right now we don't have much time to plan for that. And the sooner we adjust, the less we have to raise rates.
Why are they so far behind?
PJM has been trying to come to grips with the fact that the green energy push, solar, a lot of these natural gas power plants are being closed, and then they're being replaced with solar and wind generation, which, and that the cold night of winter, those are not beneficial. PJM is trying to be coming up with new methods to calculate for this, but there's been a lot of pushback. So they kept putting off the auction to get the federal government to approve their new methods. So that's why we're behind. So now they're trying to get caught up. So hopefully this time next year, maybe they'll be back to 3 years ahead and then we'll have an outlook. But it's not going to fix, the problem. So this impact, this is going to cost $14.7 million in the PJM region. They're estimating that it's going to be an average rate impact of 22.5 megawatt hours, which amounts on the retail customer rate, that's about 2.25 cents. So if we had to raise our rates 2.25 cents just to break even for that would amount to 20% rate increase to go from our 9.5 up to 11.75. Not saying that we'll have to do that. We'll just have to see what if December comes in a lot cheaper, we'll be able to ride that wave and then continue as we're going. We're too soon to know, but now's the time to start monitoring that for the next cycle. So, but as I said, you can see this period, 2024, 2025 is last year, and then you look at the right side, this auction period, every resource has decreased. Coal's dropped, gas has dropped. Gas has dropped from 83,000 megawatts it cleared down to 66. So big drop in gas, even a drop in nuclear. I mean, everything has dropped for some reason this period. The only thing that increased slightly was wind. So that causes a tighter market, causes the capacity rates to go up. I attended this webinar last week on the state of the industry, and they provided some retail rates for around Ohio. So just for comparison, we're at 9.5 cents for our residential rate. AEP's residential retail rate just went from 22 cents to 18 cents because they're not dealing with that Duke increase that we had this year. So, we're considerably below them. The same with Toledo Edison. They dropped from 20 to 17 cents. So we're well under the average. And these are really the averages across the country now. So, just for comparison information, we are in good shape. Not that I'm proposing a rate increase at this time. So the reasons for the change, as I've said, it's generation impacts. We're retiring 6,500 megawatts of load. There's only 110 megawatts of load coming online in this period. And then you can see the new generation. It's mostly solar and wind, and then there's still batteries in its infancy. Maybe a decade from now we'll start to see better battery storage to allow for some peak shaving that would benefit us on the capacity level. But the green energy is really causing a huge change in the energy market. And a lot of it has been so politicized that they really need to kind of take a step back and reset. So the prices are dependent more on the winter. The winter's the biggest driver. Another issue is liquid natural gas is being exported. Right now, natural gas is being exported at 11%. By next year, it'll be up to 17%. But by 2032, almost half of our natural gas is going to be exported to another country. So, it's putting more strain on the green energy, which is not going to help the situation. This is an interesting chart. Over the last decade, our market has been soft for power. You can see the current line is the black line. It's been close to the futures. The other lines are future markets. But you can see the lines are separating, so the future markets are it's getting higher and higher. So that soft energy market is gone. We got to enjoy it for a lot longer than they thought when it started back in 2011. But now it's tightening up and the market's climbing. And then finally, just for comparison, this is a large solar field in Versailles that's municipal owned. And you can see they were producing 100% capacity when the solar eclipse hit, dropped all the way to zero during that solar eclipse. So, you know, it was dim that day, but it wasn't dark. But that, you know, that's what happens to solar when conditions aren't optimal. And even after the eclipse, it didn't even make it back to 100% before the evening set in and power started trailing off for the day. So green energy is great, but we're not going to be able to survive as a nation on only green energy. So hopefully some changes will be made, but that's kind of where we are. So, you know, we'll have to have a follow-up discussion in December when we get the next round of capacity auction prices. But as of now, we're kind of a code yellow situation. We'll keep monitoring it. Certainly not time to raise the rates, but after December hits, we'll have to make a decision at that point. And that is what I have. Any questions on that? Or?
Travis, you can continue on because the next item is you as well. Next.
You had a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The landfill gas generator system was designed for the current landfill, and when they add the new cell, they may have extra gas because they've got to design the blowers and the generator consumption for the output. So as those cells in Rumpke become available, you know, there might be another 4 to 6 megawatts available in landfill gas right here in town.
Yeah. And that benefits us on the capacity price because that lowers our peak. And at the hottest days of the year, we get credit for that. So we may be calculating instead of an 8 megawatt, that might get us down to 7 or even 6 megawatts. So that would benefit us on peak shaving. And it does now.
But you probably have to talk to the company that currently has purchased the rights for the landfill gas, because they're not going to do an expansion and modify their existing setup without a solid financial reason to do so. The other thing is we've got parking lots we can put in solar too.
Travis, you want to continue on with item E?
So playground equipment update, I was hoping to have feedback today from our playground designers. So they came out, we met at the playground last week, and they're going to provide us with some options to look at. Probably a two-part, maybe this year, the 7 to 12-year-olds, and then next year the younger kids. If you do the younger kids first, then all the older kids will end up playing on that. So if you put in the older system first, then then you put in the younger kids, it works better. So hopefully by next week's council meeting, I'll have information on that, but that's all I have. And then paving, we're working on, we do have between 250 and 275,000 set aside for paving this year. So I've been talking to Tom and Jeremiah, and they've given me a priority list, and I'm working with American Construction Point to get that ready for bid. So hopefully by next week I'll have more information on that, because I'd like to get that out to bid as soon as possible. Normally we wouldn't go out to bid this late in the year, but Tom's been talking to some of the contractors, and it sounds like there is they have available slots, so we'll go out to bid and see what we can do.
Okay. Any additional questions?
What's that electric gonna do? Let's say you got $1,000 electric bill, what will that do to it when you raise it?
Well, I mean, they're saying across the country it would play, or across this region it'd be roughly 20% to break even.
So $1,200 for $1,000.
Yeah, if we had to do that, but we might. I mean, I'm not saying that we would have to do a full 20%. It depends on what the next number is, because we can ride a small wave, but it's going to come back down.
She's talking about PJM. When they put up that $800 billion to do renewable energy stuff, that brought on a ton of requests for farm ground and different places to put solar. So they're overwhelmed with requests. And just like people I'm dealing with, they don't expect to get an answer for 5 years, 3 to 5 years. And the other thing they said to me was, we can't find enough help to be able to do this stuff.
Right.
But it takes 9,000 acres of farm ground with solar panels to replace Beckjord. And there's Beckjord, what's the next one, coming this direction?
Yeah, Zimmer.
What is it?
Zimmer.
Zimmer, and then Stewart and Killen, they closed 4 power plants within 70 miles or 60 miles. So how many farm ground acres does that take? And plus, the people getting together and stopping these solar, they're voting them down. You know, the whole county or township are saying no. So now they're in, in trouble. So it's not gonna get better.
Hopefully long term, but not short term.
Any additional questions? Okay, moving on page 3 of your report is your fiscal report, payment register. If there are any questions, we will try to answer those. If not, we will move along. No questions? Let's go ahead and start with roundtable. I'm going to start to my right with Councilmember Mays.
Well, for one, I'd like to say we lost a former council member a week ago, roughly, at a local event. What a loss to our community. Good community member, Dave Gunther. I'd like for prayers for his family. And then I'd like to also let everybody know that this weekend we're going to have a roller skating event on the square for the kids, all free. There'll be hot dogs, hamburgers, and a really good time. There's one other thing.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion for council to move to consider, when, in the future and now, that when we have a chief of police retire, that we give them their service revolver.
So there has been a motion by Councilmember Mays to, for now and in the future, that when we have a police chief retire, that we are able to pass along their revolver as part of their retirement. Is there a second?
I'd second.
That motion has been properly seconded by Councilmember Campbell. And Tara, roll call please.
Councilmember Mays,
Yes.
Councilmember Campbell,
Yes.
Councilmember Hanselman,
Yes.
Councilmember Garbett,
Yes.
Councilmember Baki,
Yes.
Councilmember Barnhart.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Mike?
All right, and then one other thing, I'd like to take time to thank everybody that came in to apply for this position on council. It was not an easy decision. I'd like for everybody to know that. It wasn't because of anything personal toward anybody in our selection. It was truly a hard decision. That's why Kelly stated, or the mayor stated earlier, that we had another interview. Wasn't an easy decision. And that's it.
Better pick than Amber.
Thank you, guys.
All right, and to follow up to Mike's first point there, our community certainly did lose somebody this past week, a huge impact to the community itself, and certainly our condolences go out to the family. I would also like to thank Georgetown Police Department and Georgetown Fire and EMS who instantaneously jumped into action when that all happened and really tried to provide efforts to make the situation better. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out on the better. But, again, their efforts did not go unrecognized. So thank you to them too as well. All right, Councilmember Barnhart.
Nothing.
All right, Councilmember Campbell.
I was gonna tie on to that too. Dave and I was just working the beer fest together, and it was quite shocking news. So he'll be dearly missed. Great guy. On a lighter note, this is for Travis out at the park. behind the soccer field in the front field, there is a trash can that's behind the goal between it and the basketball court that has a metal fence post that kind of holds the trash can in place. But over the past couple of years, we've put Rumpke cans out there, so I'd like to see if you can get Tom and Jeremiah just to remove that can and pull that post. It's leaning right towards the field and when the kids go running. I know there was a couple games last year was out there, the cans was gone and just the fence post was sticking up, so. Within 20 to 30 feet, there's some extra trash cans, so we don't need that many more.
While you're making that note, Travis, I also heard that there were, just this week, the last couple of days, some rocks, like bigger rocks on the splash pad. I don't know if those have been removed. I have not been out there lately, but I did get that message and I forgot to pass it along.
Another one that was before, the Shell station, there's a road plate by the Shell station. It seems to bounce every once in a while and expose the hole underneath. Maybe, does anybody remember what was going on there? It should have been possibly on Village Right Away. Does anybody remember if it was looked at?
There was something there. What was the issue? You're trying to figure out what the original issue was there, because I remember something.
Yeah,
Somebody.
I would just assume that it's within the right of way, so it could possibly be ours to fix.
Did we put the plate
it's
down?
that's what he can check on. There was not a plate there, and then we brought it up at one council
Oh, so
meeting.
we put the plate there?
I would assume so. I would think it would be
I
ours.
think there was a pothole or something
It's
there.
it's a pretty big hole.
Somebody complained about it,
Mhm.
and then we, prior to Travis coming on board.
Yeah, plated it, and we were gonna.
Is that maybe gonna be part of the paving program?
It needs to be fixed.
I mean, they just did a lot of patching around town, so I would've thought if it was ours, they would've patched it, but I'll find out now.
You know, do that, and then, one other thing, been several people complaining about the old golf course. I don't know if anything can be done about the old clubhouse, how great up it is, and I don't know if it's in anything on the radar, but that's all I have.
Is that in, even in limits? I guess it is.
It is, you know.
Delbert's jamming out.
Sorry, to bore you, Phil.
You touch this thing wrong and you got some sort of video popping up. You can't get rid of it unless you shut your phone off.
Alright, you have those notes, Travis?
I did.
Alright, let's see, Councilmember Garbett.
Just a question for Travis also. Sorry, Travis,
All right.
piling on here. And I've been monitoring a little bit the back and forth about the basketball goals. Do we know when they're scheduled to be put in?
No, I think we've been pretty clear on where they need to go.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll reach back out to them.
Okay. Just that's all I had.
Councilmember Baki.
Just one thing. The Georgetown Eagles does a lot for the town. They're having a weekend-long event. Saturday, they're having bounce houses from the kids from 11 to 3, and then they can go skate on the square when they get done. Live bands, and then there's actually a car show up there, a classic car show. It's free to the public from 9 to 4 on Sunday. I think they had 100 cars up there last year, so something to do in town for a change. I would like to thank everybody that applied for a council seat, because I think, as it's been stated, that was a very, very difficult decision. We appreciate your interest and dedication to that, and that's all I have.
Alright. Councilwoman, or Councilman Hanselman, I guess, because I say the same for you. Anything for council tonight? Alright. Is there anything else to be brought in front of council this evening?
Just wanted to say one more thing. I wanted to thank Dave Taylor again. He's running for Congress. He owns Sardine Ready Mix, and he donated that concrete for cost for out there at the park. And I just think that's pretty wonderful that you have a local business person trying to help out to keep the costs down for people.
What'd that save? What did that save?
It was like $60-some, almost $80 actually a yard, per yard.
Is that-
The total savings was roughly $20,000 from what we were looking at, so.
That's nice.
So just to clarify on that, the new goals go right where the old goals were, right?
That's big, right?
So they just, the old goals, actually, they can be put in just right off of the slab at this point. We made the slab big enough, the old goals were straight behind. These are cantilevering onto the goal, or the cord, 5 feet, so.
So 5 feet
They,
off.
they usually
Yeah.
set them at a standard from the edge of the cord, so they should be good, but
Okay.
you can give them my number too if you.
Are you gonna pad them? Are you gonna pad them? Pad them so,
Add the goals.
Oh, the goals,
I'm looking toward him to get that money for the funding for the padding.
yeah. We're
It-
gonna,
it should be-
we're gonna do that next time.
Delbert, I think that's the reason why they're set further back off of the
Yeah.
court,
Still
so they
running,
don't, they can, but I mean,
It might be an issue that we have to look at in the future.
cross that bridge when you get there.
Yeah, certainly. Anything else in front of council this evening from anyone? Alright, if looking at the agenda, our next meeting is actually next week, August 22nd at 7 p.m. So this was a work session. Again, work sessions start at 6 p.m. Traditional business meetings start at 7 p.m. So next week is a 7 p.m. meeting right here in council chambers. Outside of that, the two events that we talked about tonight, the skate around the square is Saturday night. Mike, that is from
6 to 8:30.
6 to 8:30, and then on Sunday, the Eagles is having their event, Family Fun Day. So a couple things that if you're looking for something to do this weekend, certainly there's entertainment within the village. Outside of that, I think that is everything. I will certainly entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Councilmember Baki has made the motion,
I'll second.
seconded by Councilmember Campbell. Tara, roll call.
Councilmember Baki,
Yes.
Councilmember Hanselman,
Yes.
Councilmember Campbell,
Yes.
Councilmember Garbett,
yes.
Councilmember Mays,
Yes.
Councilmember Barnhart.
Yes.
Sorry, Councilmember Dick.